Today our topic is why Stoics practiced silence. The Stoics, who were ancient philosophers, believed in living a life of virtue, wisdom, and self-control. They taught that silence is a powerful tool for achieving these goals. Silence for the Stoics was not just about not speaking. It was about creating space for thought, reflection, and inner peace. In a world full of noise, distractions, and constant chatter, the Stoics saw silence as a way to focus on what truly matters and to avoid being swept away by emotions or external events. Let us explore why silence was so important to them and what we can learn from their practice. First, silence helps us control our emotions. The Stoics believe that many of our problems come from reacting too quickly to situations. When someone says something that upsets us, our first impulse might be to respond with anger or frustration. But the Stoics taught that this immediate reaction often leads to mistakes and regret. By practicing silence, we give ourselves time to think before we speak or act. This pause allows us to choose a wiser, calmer response instead of being ruled by our emotions. For example, if someone insults you, staying silent for a moment gives you the chance to ask yourself, is this insult true? Does it really matter? What is the best way to handle this situation? Silence becomes a shield against unnecessary pain and conflict. Second, silence allows us to listen and learn. The Stoics valued wisdom above all else, and they understood that wisdom comes from paying attention to the world and to others. When we are constantly talking, we miss opportunities to observe, reflect, and grow. Silence opens our ears and our minds. It lets us hear not only what others are saying, but also the deeper truths behind their words. It helps us notice the beauty and lessons in everyday life. For instance, when we sit quietly in nature, we might notice the sound of the wind, the colors of the sky, or the patterns of the leaves. These small details can teach us about the beauty of simplicity and the importance of being present in the moment. Third, silence strengthens our inner peace. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, not from external things like wealth, fame, or approval. They saw silence as a way to disconnect from the chaos of the outside world and connect with our inner selves. In silence, we can hear our own thoughts and understand our true desires and values. We can ask ourselves, what do I really want in life? What kind of person do I want to be? Am I living in line with my principles? This self-reflection helps us stay grounded and focused on what truly matters. It also helps us resist the pressure to conform to others' expectations or to chase after things that do not bring lasting fulfillment. Fourth, silence teaches us humility. The Stoics believe that no one has all the answers and that there is always more to learn. By staying silent, we acknowledge our limitations and open ourselves to new ideas and perspectives. We become less concerned with proving ourselves right and more interested in seeking the truth. This humility makes us better learners, better friends, and better members of society. It also helps us avoid unnecessary arguments and conflicts, as we recognize that not every disagreement needs to be won or even addressed. Fifth, silence helps us conserve our energy. The Stoics understood that our time and energy are limited, and they encouraged us to use them wisely. Talking too much, especially about unimportant things, can drain our energy and distract us from our goals. Silence, on the other hand, allows us to focus on what is essential. It helps us avoid gossip, complaints, and idle chatter, which the Stoics saw as a waste of time. Instead, they encouraged us to use our words carefully and purposefully, speaking only when it adds value or serves a greater good. Sixth, silence prepares us for challenges. The Stoics believed that life is full of difficulties and that we must be ready to face them with courage and resilience. Silence is a form of mental training that helps us stay calm and composed in tough situations. By practicing silence regularly, we become more comfortable with discomfort and uncertainty. We learn to sit with our thoughts and emotions without being overwhelmed by them. This inner strength allows us to handle challenges with grace and dignity, whether it is a personal loss, a professional setback, or a global crisis. Seventh, silence fosters gratitude. The Stoics believed in appreciating what we have rather than longing for what we lack. Silence gives us the space to count our blessings and recognize the abundance in our lives. It helps us shift our focus from what is missing to what is present. For example, when we sit quietly and reflect on our day, we might notice the kindness of a friend, the beauty of a sunset, or the comfort of a warm meal. These simple moments of gratitude can bring us great joy and contentment. Eighth, silence connects us to something greater. The Stoics believed in the idea of a universal order or logos, which governs the world and gives meaning to our lives. Silence allows us to tap into this deeper sense of connection and purpose. It helps us feel part of something larger than ourselves, whether it is nature, humanity, or the universe as a whole. This sense of connection can be deeply comforting and inspiring, especially in times of loneliness or doubt. Ninth, silence is a form of freedom. The Stoics believe that true freedom comes from mastering our own minds and not being controlled by external circumstances. Silence is a way to reclaim this freedom. When we choose silence, we take control of our thoughts and emotions instead of being ruled by them. We become less dependent on others' opinions or approval and more focused on our own values and principles. This inner freedom allows us to live authentically and courageously, regardless of what is happening around us. 10th, silence is a path to wisdom. The Stoics believe that wisdom is the highest virtue and the key to a good life. Silence is a way to cultivate this wisdom by creating space for reflection, learning, and growth. It helps us see the world more clearly and make better decisions. It also helps us understand ourselves and others more deeply. Through silence, we can uncover the truths that lie beneath the surface of our busy lives and discover what it means to live with purpose and integrity. In conclusion, the Stoics practiced silence because they saw it as a powerful tool for self-mastery, wisdom, and inner peace. Silence helps us control our emotions, listen and learn, strengthen our inner peace, cultivate humility, conserve our energy, prepare for challenges, foster gratitude, connect to something greater, reclaim our freedom, and pursue wisdom. In a world that often values noise and speed, the Stoics remind us of the importance of slowing down, being present, and listening to the quiet voice within. By embracing silence, we can live more thoughtfully, courageously, and joyfully, no matter what life brings our way. So, take a moment today to pause, breathe, and be silent. You might be surprised by what you discover.